Moving to Georgia can be an amazing experience, or it can be a bit of a challenge, depending on where you move.
Whether you're choosing to live in a city environment, you're looking for suburbs for your families, you want to be near the mountains, you're looking for good schools, Georgia has a lot to offer.
Yeah, I'm basically a Georgia native. Allison's been here for over a decade, and so we have a really good feeling on all of these areas. Today, we're going to break down all the things that you've got to know about the different regions, and let's start with the first area.
All right, so let's start off with region number 1, Atlanta Metropolitan. So this is where Jen and I live. We are realtor moms living in North Atlanta. And one of the things that you should consider when you're moving to Georgia is the climate. Temperatures and the weather in general in Georgia is going to be pretty temperate. We do have pretty hot and humid summers, which can catch people by surprise, can make you feel a little breathless. So that is probably the most challenging part of the year. The fall is quite beautiful. We have temperatures ranging in the 40s all the way up to the 70s. The winter can get a little chillier, of course. We can sometimes go below freezing, but typically we're gonna be in that 30 to high 50s range. The spring is also gorgeous. We're gonna have similar to what we have in the fall, but it does tend to get a little bit warmer. So we'll start off somewhere in the high 50s. And then as spring gets closer to summer, we're gonna start creeping up into the 70s and even low 80s.
I think another thing to consider when we're talking about climate is going to be the allergy season.
Yeah.
A lot of people that did not have allergies and moved to Georgia, or even people that have been in Georgia forever, tend to get allergies later in life.
Yep, I'm one of them.
Yeah, me too. I've been here forever and only recently had allergies because I think, we have a temperate climate, the pollen is out for longer, and during that really peak season in the spring, it can be pretty difficult for a lot of people.
If you are living in other parts of the country, you're used to a much shorter allergy season. You're getting that first hit of pollen, but here in Georgia, because our temperatures go up and down, you're getting that second blast of pollen, which is really what your body is probably not used to.
So also in the Atlanta metropolitan region, let's touch a little bit on politics. Georgia tends to lean more red, a little bit more conservative of a state, which is not unusual for the southern states. The Republicans hold the majority in both the House and the Senate. So that's just something to consider when you're looking at the Atlanta metropolitan area.
That's a great point, Jen. And also, there is an increasing mix of liberal and conservative views. So things are starting to balance out a little bit, and really it just depends on what county you live in. That can make a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Atlanta is the state capital, which you will find in the Atlanta metropolitan area. It offers a blend of super urban feel, but mixed with that historic southern charm. So it's quite unique when you're considering the aesthetics of the city. Atlanta is quickly becoming known as the Hollywood of the South. As more movies come in and being filmed, you will see them all over the city, even moving into the suburbs. Fun fact, the Summer Olympics were hosted in Atlanta, and if you are in the downtown Atlanta area, you will see iconic structures that are left behind from the event that are really fun to go through.
Also in downtown Atlanta, you're gonna find the Georgia Aquarium, which in my opinion is the best aquarium in the country, and it's actually the largest aquarium in the country, and it's the 4th largest in the world. So it is absolutely a must-see if you're coming to Atlanta, and often people living in Atlanta will have memberships. And then right across the way from the aquarium is the World of Coca-Cola, which is a Coca-Cola museum. And it's actually pretty fun. You get a little history about Coca-Cola, but the best part about this museum is you get to taste Coke products from all across the world. Some of them are delicious and some of them not so much.
Yeah, definitely check that out. It's really fun to do when you're in the area. And speaking of the World of Coca-Cola, if you move a little bit further north from downtown Atlanta, you go into Buckhead.
Yes.
And you can find the compound of where the founder of Coca-Cola lived for many, many years.
And also just north of Atlanta are the North Atlanta Suburbs, which is where Jen and I currently live and our moms. So the North Atlanta Suburbs are known for their good schools, competitive sports. There's a lot of outdoor activities and parks, really fun place to live, totally different feel from the city, but also very close.
If you are thinking about moving to Georgia, the absolute worst mistake that you can make is hiring a bad realtor.
For sure.
It can cost you thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. And fortunately for you, Allison and I know what we are doing. We have a vast network of agents throughout the state. We can refer you to like-minded agents that will help you keep money in your pocket.
And I know firsthand what it's like to move out of state and moving to Georgia. So having that experience, I think, gives me a leg up. I can really guide you based on what your needs are and what your family needs are to ensure that you're moving to the right place.
Yeah, so if you're considering a move to Georgia, find someone that is reputable and it is there to take you through and guide you through each area that we've been talking about today. So just reach out, give us a call. Our number is below here in the comments, and we're happy to help.
Now we're going to talk about Savannah, which is one of my favorite places to visit
Savannah.
in Georgia. Yeah, for sure. So Savannah is a coastal city. It's known for its historic charm. It has a lot of beautiful gardens and squares. It's just really a fun, artsy place to visit. And you'll often find that some of the students from Georgia Southern University are making their way over to that area because it's a pretty quick drive. Also, it's not too bad from the Atlanta area to get to Savannah. It's about 4 hours. Not the most fun drive, however, it's well worth it. You're gonna love Savannah.
And so one of the other little towns very near Savannah is Tybee Island. And that is a destination where people go if you really want to go to the beach and hang out. It also has an amazing aquatic science center.
Yeah.
Kids from all over the state go down there on field trips. It's really amazing.
All right, so region number 3 that we're gonna talk about is Augusta. You're probably familiar with Augusta because of the Masters Golf Tournament, which happens the first week of April, and honestly, that's really what's put Augusta on the map. The other great thing about Augusta is that the median household price in the area is $415,000, which if you've watched any of our other videos, you know that that is relatively low for the state of Georgia. So it's definitely worth considering if you are in that price range.
Yeah, and also interesting to note there too, just for living there, it's a beautiful place to live, but there are also a lot of investors who purchase properties there, turn them into Airbnbs and whatnot, specifically for the Masters. That's the kind of deal the Masters is in Augusta. When you talk about downtown Augusta, you're gonna see a lot of historic buildings there. You've got a vibrant cultural community. You've got the Savannah River running through the riverfront, which is really amazing. So you've got living on the water there as well.
Also, something worth noting about Augusta is that it's a military town. There's actually an area called Grovetown, which is where Fort Gordon is. And it's great for families, it's affordable. They have a really great 4th of July show, which is called the Lights of the South. So it's a really great place to move. Also, as we said before, quite affordable compared to some of the areas that we've talked about.
So be sure to check out Augusta if you are in that region. It's definitely worth it. But let's move into region 4, which is going to be the Athens area. This one's near and dear to my heart. Athens is a college town. The University of Georgia is located there, and that is my alma mater. Athens is fabulous, and it's also comprised of other little cities that are nearby that are great too.
Athens is a ton of fun, and it's known for its vibrant cultural and arts center. A lot of great bands have had their start there, like REM, Widespread Panic, so really a fun place to live.
And I'll just go ahead and date myself that some of those bands I saw in fraternity houses back in the day when I was there. And then a couple of other little towns to note in that region too are Watkinsville and Winterville. Winterville's a short, 6-minute drive to the University of Georgia, so it can be a little bit more affordable. There's a lot of activity to do there too when you're in that area of the whole Athens region in these towns. There's covered bridges and outdoor excursions and things like that. Just quaint little small southern towns, really very charming.
All right, so the next region we're going to cover is the North Georgia Mountains. It is a quick drive from Atlanta and a lot of other parts of the state. Some of the most notable areas in the North Georgia Mountains are going to be Dahlonega, Blue Ridge, LJ, and Jasper. So all of these areas are going to offer some of the most gorgeous scenery that you're really going to see in the state of Georgia. There's also an arts community, some of the best recreational opportunities, hiking, trail running, all those sorts of things.
There's plenty of people that live there, but from Atlanta, it makes the best long weekend getaway. It's only a couple hour drive, and Dahlonega actually has some of the best wineries that you're gonna find in the region. You can go wine tasting. It's a great weekend away. Just like you might go all the way to California, we have that here in Georgia.
Yeah. So there you have it. Those are the regions of Georgia, and just a little bit of information so that you can make a good decision about whether or not you want to move here. Living out of state in different parts of the country, you often get a lot of misconceptions about the state. It's really important to talk to people who live here, people who are experts here, and especially people who live here and raise their families here. So Jen and I live in Georgia. We are realtor moms in the North Atlanta suburbs, and we would love to help you find your next home in the state of Georgia.
So check out our other videos. Be sure to leave us a comment and let us know what you thought about this. And if we're missing something, let us know that too.
Don't forget to like.